The city of Lumenport never truly slept. Even at night, lights moved like fireflies between tall metal towers. The air smelled like hot oil, rain, and street food. People walked fast, heads down, hands in pockets, trying not to look at anyone who might ask for help. Near the old market street, a small figure sat on the cold stone ground. He was not human. He was a dragon child. His body was small, no taller than a human toddler. His scales were dusty brown with a soft shine under the lantern lights. Two tiny horns curved backward from his head. His wings were folded tight, red-orange like sunset, but torn at the edges. His tail curled around his feet like a rope, as if it was trying to keep him warm. His name was Rin. Rin held a wooden toy ship in his hands. It was not perfect. One mast was broken and the paint was chipped, but it was his favorite. He had found it months ago in a trash pile, and he had fixed it with string and glue stolen from a repair shop. Now he was thinking about selling it. His stomach hurt. It always hurt. Rin looked at the people passing by. Some were humans. Some were other species from the stars. Lumenport was a spaceport city, built for trade, travel, and money. If you had credits, you were safe. If you did not, you became invisible. Rin was invisible most of the time. A few stalls were still open. A woman sold fried noodles. A tall alien with 4 arms sold cheap metal tools. A man in a black coat sold old batteries and broken parts. Rin had a small pile of items beside him. A tiny music box. A pair of toy wheels. A smooth stone that looked like a star. A paper map he could not read. And the wooden ship. He had been collecting these things for a long time. They were not just toys. They were proof that he existed. He waited, watching faces, hoping someone would stop. A loud boom echoed from far away deep in the city. It shook the air like thunder. People paused. Some looked up. Others kept walking, pretending it was nothing. Rin's eyes widened. He had heard those sounds before. War sounds. Another boom came, closer this time. A few small drones flew above the street, their red lights blinking. They moved fast, scanning rooftops. Then they turned and vanished into the dark. The market street became tense. A man cursed under his breath and began packing his stall. A woman grabbed her child's hand and rushed away. The noodle seller turned off her stove. Rin stayed still. He had nowhere to go. A third boom hit, and this one made the ground shake. Dust fell from the old buildings. Somewhere in the distance, a siren started screaming. Rin's small claws tightened around the wooden ship. He whispered to himself, "Not again." He did not know who was fighting. He only knew that when fighting started, the poor were the first to suffer. Rin had learned that lesson the hard way. A year ago, he had lived in the outer ruins near the broken space docks. There were other abandoned kids there too. Humans, aliens, all forgotten. They shared food when they could. They slept in broken containers. They ran when the patrol drones came. But one night, a gang had arrived. They wore masks and carried shock sticks. They were hunting for rare creatures. They were hunting for dragons. Dragons were not common in the galaxy. Some people said they were extinct. Others said they were dangerous. But the truth was simpler. Dragons were valuable. Their scales could be used for armor. Their blood could be sold for medicine. Their bones could be ground into powder. Even dragon eggs were worth more than a ship. Rin was not an egg. He was alive, and that made him worth even more. The gang had taken 3 kids that night. 2 humans. 1 small alien with blue skin. Rin had escaped only because he was small enough to crawl through a cracked pipe. He had run until his lungs burned. He never went back. Now, as sirens screamed again, Ryan felt that same fear crawling into his chest. He grabbed his items and pushed them into a torn cloth bag. He tried to stand, but his legs shook. He was weak from hunger. A shadow fell over him. Rin froze. Slowly, he looked up. A human man stood there. He was young, maybe in his late 20s. He wore a gray jacket and dark pants. His hair was messy, and his face had light stubble. He looked tired, like someone who had not slept enough for many nights. But his eyes were calm. Rin's heart hammered. Humans could be kind. Humans could also be cruel. He had seen both. The man crouched down, keeping a careful distance. He did not reach for Rin. He did not shout. He simply looked at the small dragon child and the bag of toys. "Hey," the man said softly. "Are you alone?" Rin did not answer. His throat was dry. The man's eyes moved to the sirens in the distance. Another boom sounded. This one was followed by a flash of light over the rooftops. The man frowned. "Bad night to be outside," he said. Rin hugged his bag. The man noticed the wooden ship sticking out. He smiled a little. "You selling that?" he asked. Rin swallowed. His voice came out small. "Yes." The man nodded, like that made sense. "How much?" he asked. Rin hesitated. He did not know prices. He only knew hunger. He had traded toys before for food scraps. He had once traded a metal coin for half a bread roll. He said the first number that came to his mind. 2 credits. The man blinked. 2 credits? He repeated. Rin flinched, thinking he had said something wrong. The man reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small credit chip. He placed it on the ground between them, like an offering. "This is 20, the man said. Rin stared at it. 20 credits could buy real food. Warm food. Enough for days. Rin shook his head fast. "No. Too much." The man's smile faded, replaced by something heavy. "It's not too much," he said. "Not for what you're doing." Rin looked down at the wooden ship again. His claws trembled. "I need food," Rin whispered. "I know," the man said. Another explosion boomed. This time it was very close. People screamed in the distance. A wave of panic moved through the street. The man stood up quickly. "We need to move," he said. Rin backed away. The man raised both hands, palms open. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "I promise." Rin's eyes searched his face. Humans could lie, but something in the man's voice felt real. It was not smooth. It was not fake. It sounded like someone who had made promises before and tried hard to keep them. Rin's stomach growled loudly. The man heard it. He reached into his bag and pulled out a wrapped food bar. He tossed it gently onto the ground, not too close, not too far. "Eat," he said. Rin stared at it like it was a dream. Food bars were expensive. He crawled forward slowly, snatched it, and tore the wrapper with his teeth. The taste hit his mouth like heaven. Sweet, salty, warm from the man's pocket. Rin ate too fast and almost choked. "Slow down," the man said, voice gentle. Rin forced himself to chew. The sirens grew louder. A patrol drone flew low over the street, its lights flashing. A loud voice came from it in a robotic tone. Curfew in effect. All citizens must return home. Hostile activity detected. The man looked around. "Come with me," he said. Rin froze again. "Come with me." Those words could mean safety. They could also mean a cage. Rin took a step back. The man nodded, like he expected fear. "Okay," he said. "Then I'll do this differently." He pulled out a small holo badge and activated it. A blue light formed a symbol in the air. It was the mark of the City Rescue Division. "I'm Kale," he said. "I work for emergency relief. I'm not military. I'm not police. I help people during war nights like this." Rin stared at the badge. It looked real. Kale took a slow breath. "I can't leave you here," Kale said. "If the fighting spreads, this street will become dangerous. And if anyone sees you," he did not finish the sentence. Rin knew. Hunters? Gangs. People who wanted dragon parts. Rin's wings tightened. Kale crouched again. "Listen," Kale said. "I have a small place. It's warm. I have food. You can stay for the night. No cage, no chains. Just a locked door so nobody can take you." Rin's eyes burned. He tried not to cry. No one had offered him a locked door before. Another explosion hit. The lights above flickered. A piece of glass shattered somewhere nearby. Kale stood. "Decision time," he said. Rin looked at his bag of toys. Then he looked at the credit chip on the ground. Then he looked at Kale's open hand. Rin's heart felt like it was splitting in two. Finally, with shaking claws, he placed the wooden ship into Kale's hand. Kale held it carefully, like it was fragile. Rin whispered, "I sell." Kale nodded. "And I buy," he said. Then Kale reached out again, not to grab, but to offer. Rin stared at the hand for a long second. Then he took it. Kale's hand was warm. And for the first time in a long time, Rin felt something he almost forgot. He felt safe. As they hurried away from the market street, the sky above Lumenport flashed with distant fire. The war was starting, and the city was about to change. But Ryan did not know yet that this human was not only saving him from the night, he was saving him from the entire life he had been forced to live. Kale moved fast through the narrow streets of Lumenport. He did not run, but his steps were steady and sure, like someone who knew exactly where danger could appear. Rin stayed close to him, his small hand wrapped around Kale's finger. The city felt louder now. Sirens echoed between buildings. Distant explosions lit the sky with red and orange flashes. Rin's wings shook every time a loud sound came. Kale noticed. "It's okay," Kale said quietly. "We're almost there." They turned into a side alley darker and calmer than the market street. Old pipes ran along the walls. Steam hissed from cracks in the ground. Kale stopped in front of a metal door with a faded number on it. He pressed his palm against a scanner. The door slid open. With a soft hum, warm air rushed out. Rin froze. Warmth meant safety, but safety never lasted. Kale stepped inside first and turned on the lights. The room was small but clean. A couch, a table, a compact kitchen, and a single window that showed the glowing city outside. A soft yellow lamp filled the room with gentle light. "No one else lives here," Kale said. "Just me." Rin stepped inside slowly. The door closed behind them with a quiet click. Rin flinched. Kale noticed again. "I'll leave it unlocked if you want," Kale said. Rin shook his head. "Locked. Good," Rin said. Kale nodded and locked it properly. He walked to the kitchen and opened a cabinet. He pulled out a bowl, a spoon, and a packet of nutrient soup. He heated it quickly and placed the bowl on the table. "Eat," Kale said. Rin climbed under the chair with some effort. The smell alone made his eyes water. He ate slowly this time, just like Kale told him earlier. The soup was warm and thick. Every swallow made his body feel heavier, calmer. Kale sat across from him but did not eat. He watched quietly. When Rin finished, he pushed the bowl away. More later, Kale said, "Your stomach is small." Rin nodded. Silence filled the room, broken only by distant explosions. Kale finally spoke. "What's your name?" Rin hesitated. Names had power. "Rin," he said. Kale smiled. "I'm Kale." "I know," Rin said. Kale looked surprised, then laughed softly. "Right, I forgot I already said that." Kale leaned back in his chair. "How old are you, Rin?" Rin thought for a moment. "I don't know." Kale nodded. "That's okay." Rin looked around the room. Everything felt strange, clean, safe. Too safe. "Why help me?" Rin asked suddenly. Kale blinked. "Because you needed help," he said. Rin's eyes narrowed. "People don't do that." Kale did not argue. "Some don't, some do." Rin looked down at his claws. "Humans hunt dragons." Kale's face hardened for a moment. "Some humans do." Then he added, "Some humans stop them." A loud blast shook the building. The lights flickered. Kale stood up and turned on a small wall screen. News footage filled the room. Images of burning districts, armed drones, and armored soldiers flashed across the screen. A news voice spoke fast. "Unexpected conflict has erupted between the Central Authority and the Outer Coalition. Reports confirm the use of restricted weapons. Citizens are advised to remain indoors." Rin stared at the screen. "Kale turned it off this war," Rin said. "Will it come here?" Kale did not answer right away. "Yes," he said finally. Rin's heart sank. Kale walked to a small storage room and returned with a blanket. He placed it around Rin's shoulders. It was soft. Softer than anything Rin had ever touched. "You can sleep here," Kale said. On the couch, Rin touched the blanket like it might vanish. "Why you live alone?" Rin asked. Kale paused. "Because it's easier," he said. Rin did not believe him, but he did not push. As Rin lay down, exhaustion hit him hard. His eyes struggled to stay open. "Kale dimmed the lights. If you wake up scared," Kale said, "I'll be here." Rin nodded. Sleep came quickly. But peace did not last. Rin dreamed of fire. He dreamed of chains and cold metal tables. He dreamed of voices arguing over presses. He dreamed of hands pulling at his wings. He woke up screaming. Kale was beside him instantly. "It's okay," Kale said, placing a hand near Rin but not touching him. "You're safe." Rin's breathing slowed, but tears ran down his face. "They take dragons," Rin whispered. "They cut them." Kale's jaw tightened. "I know," Kale said. Rin looked at him sharply. "You know?" Kale nodded. "That's part of why this war started." Rin sat up. Kale took a deep breath. "The Central Authority has been capturing rare species. Dragons, PSI kin, starborn children. They say it's for protection. It's not." Rin's claws dug into the blanket. "They want power," Kale continued. "Dragon energy is special. It can fuel weapons, shields, ships." Rin trembled. "And you?" Rin asked. "What are you?" Kale met his eyes. "I help people escape." Rin stared. "I move them, hide them, feed them," Kale said, "until they can be safe." Rin's voice was small. "Forever?" Kale hesitated. "I don't know yet," he said honestly. A sharp beep came from Kale's wrist device. He looked at it and frowned. "They're scanning nearby," Kale said. Rin's heart raced. Kale knelt in front of him. "Listen to me. If anyone comes to the door, you hide here." He opened a floor panel, revealing a hidden space. "It's shielded. They won't find you." Rin stared at the space. "You'll leave me?" "No," Kale said firmly. "I'll protect the door." Footsteps echoed outside the apartment. Heavy boots. A voice called out, "Emergency inspection." "Open the door." Kale stood. Rin's body shook. Kale looked back once. "Trust me." Rin nodded slowly. Kale opened the door. Two armored officers stood outside. Their visors glowed blue. "Routine check," one said. "Any non-registered species inside?" Kale's heart pounded, but his face stayed calm. "No," Kale said. At that exact moment, Rin felt something inside him stir. A warmth. A glow deep in his chest. The floor beneath him vibrated softly. Rin's eyes widened. He covered his mouth. He did not know it yet, but his presence was reacting to danger, and that reaction was about to change everything. Kale stood in the doorway like a wall. The two officers looked past him, trying to see inside. Their armor was clean and sharp. Their boots were heavy. Their belts carried stun guns and scanning tools. The taller officer lifted a small device. A blue light swept over Kale's chest and face. "Name and ID," the officer said. Kale raised his wrist and showed his rescue badge again. "Kale Dorn, City Emergency Relief." The officer scanned it. The device beeped once. "Your district is under high alert," the officer said. "There are reports of illegal shelters." Kale kept his voice calm. "This building is registered. I live alone." The second officer stepped closer. "We will confirm." Kale did not move away. "You can confirm from the hallway. This is a private unit." The taller officer's visor tilted slightly, like he was smiling behind it. "Private rights are suspended during war nights," he said. He tried to step inside. Kale moved his foot forward, blocking the entrance. The air became tense. Inside the apartment, Rin sat frozen beside the couch. His bag of toys was on the floor. His small hands shook. He remembered the hidden space under the floor panel, but his body would not move. He heard Kale's voice, steady but firm. "Officers," Kale said, "I understand the rules, but I also know the law. This is an emergency relief residence. If you enter without cause, I will report it." The second officer lifted his scanner. "We have cause. We detected an unusual energy signal in this area." Ryan's eyes widened. Energy signal. That was him. His chest felt warm again. A strange heat moved under his scales like a fire trying to wake up. Rin held his breath and pressed his hands against his stomach, trying to stop it. But the warmth grew stronger. The scanner in the officer's hand beeped again. The officer turned his head slowly, looking toward the inside of the apartment. Kale saw the change instantly. Kale's heart dropped. He did not panic. He did not shout. He did not look at Rin. He kept his eyes on the officers. "There's no one here," Kale said. The taller officer pushed forward harder. Kale had no choice. He stepped back, letting the officer enter, but only one step. The officer's scanner beeped again. Then a new sound came from outside. A loud crash. A scream. The officers turned. Kale's eyes sharpened. He knew that sound. Not a normal fight. Not a random crime. A raid. Kale spoke fast. Officers, that sounds like an attack. You should go. The second officer hesitated. The taller one looked annoyed. Another crash came, followed by gunfire in the distance. The taller officer cursed. Fine. We'll come back. They stepped away quickly, moving down the hallway. Kale closed the door and locked it. His shoulders dropped for a second, like he had been holding up a heavy weight. Rin finally moved. He ran to Kale, grabbing his leg tightly. Kale looked down and his face softened. You're okay, Kale whispered. Rin's eyes were wide with fear. They almost saw. Kale knelt and gently held Rin's shoulders. Listen to me. You did nothing wrong. You're just scared. Rin's voice shook. My chest, it gets hot. Kale's eyes changed. He looked worried now, not because of Rin, but because of what it meant. That's your dragon core, Kale said quietly. Rin stared. Core? Kale nodded. Dragons have energy inside them. It's like a small star. It reacts to danger. If it grows too strong, scanners can find you. Rin swallowed. Can they take me? Kale's face turned hard. Not if I can stop it. A new sound came from the window, a low humming like machines in the air. Kale walked to the window and looked outside. His blood ran cold. 3 black drones hovered above the street. Not city patrol drones. These were military. And below them, a group of masked men moved between buildings. Hunters. Kale knew their style. He had seen them before. They were not looking for weapons or money. They were looking for Rin. Kale stepped back from the window. We have to leave, Kale said. Rin's claws tightened on Kale's jacket. Where? Kale walked to the storage room and opened a hidden compartment behind a shelf. He pulled out a small backpack, a folded cloak, and a compact device. Rin watched with fear and curiosity. What is that? Rin asked. Kale held up the device, a signal jammer. It hides your energy for a short time. He strapped it onto Rin's belt. The device clicked on. Rin felt the warmth in his chest calm down slightly. Kale gave Rin the cloak. Put this on. Hood up. Rin did it quickly. The cloak was too big, but it covered his wings and tail. Kale opened another drawer, pulled out a small stun baton. Rin stared. You fight? Kale's eyes stayed serious. Only if I must. A loud knock hit the door. Not like before. This knock was heavy, aggressive. Kale froze. Then a voice spoke through the door, smooth and cold. Kale Dorn, open up. Rin's heart stopped. Kale's eyes widened. He knew that voice. He whispered no. Rin looked up at him. Who? Kale did not answer. The voice came again. I know you're inside. I know what you're hiding. Kale pulled Rin close and guided him toward the floor panel. Hide. Kale whispered. Rin shook his head. No. I stay. Kale grabbed Ryan's shoulders firmly. Run. Please. If they take you, they will hurt you. Hide. Run's eyes filled with tears. His claws shook. He crawled into the hidden space. Kale closed the panel. The room became silent. Kale stood near the door, breathing slowly. The lock began to beep. Someone was hacking it. Kale held the stun baton in his hand. Ready. The door slid open. A man stepped inside. He was tall. He wore a black coat with a silver emblem on the chest. His hair was neatly cut. His face was clean and calm. His eyes were sharp like glass. 2 armed hunters followed behind him. The man smiled slightly. Kale, he said, still playing hero. Kale's jaw tightened. Voss. Rin heard the name from the hidden space. Voss? Kale's voice was cold. You're working with the authority now? Voss laughed softly. The authority pays well, and dragons pay even better. Kale raised the baton. Leave. Voss lifted one hand, showing he was not afraid. You know why the war started, Kale, Voss said. You stole a dragon egg years ago. You helped it escape. You ruined a project worth billions. Kale's eyes burned. That egg was a life. Voss stepped closer. And now that life is here, I can smell it. Kale's stomach dropped. Voss looked around the room slowly. Then he smiled. You're not alone, Voss said. Kale tried to block his view, but Voss was already walking toward the couch. Kale moved fast and swung the baton. Voss caught his wrist easily. Kale's eyes widened. Voss was stronger than he looked. Voss twisted Kale's arm, forcing the baton to drop. Kale grunted in pain. The two hunters raised their guns. Voss leaned in close to Kale's ear. Where is the dragon, child? Voss whispered. Kale's voice was rough. Go to hell, Voss sighed, like he was disappointed. Then Voss raised his hand and struck Kale in the stomach. Kale fell to his knees, gasping. Rin heard the sound. His small body shook. Tears ran down his cheeks. He wanted to scream. He wanted to jump out and fight. But he was small. Weak. He was just a child. Voss walked around the room, scanning the floor, the walls, the corners. Then he stopped near the floor panel. Rin's blood turned cold. Voss's eyes narrowed. He crouched slowly. His fingers touched the edge of the panel. Rin's chest began to burn again. Hot. Too hot. The jammer on his belt beeped, struggling. Kale saw Voss's hand on the panel. Kale forced himself up, even with pain in his stomach. He grabbed the baton again and struck Voss's arm. Voss hissed. The hunters aimed at Kale. Kale shouted, "Run!" Rin did not understand how, but his body reacted. The dragon core inside him exploded with heat. A golden light burst through the cracks of the floor panel. The room shook. Voss stumbled back. Kale's eyes widened in shock. Rin's hidden space blew open as if pushed by a giant force. Rin flew out, surrounded by glowing golden energy. His eyes shined bright like stars. The hunters froze. Voss stared. Then Voss smiled. "There you are," he whispered. Rin's small wings spread wide. For the first time in his life, he did not feel weak. He felt powerful, and that power was about to bring the whole city down on them. Rin floated in the air, surrounded by golden light. The room shook softly, like it was breathing. Small cracks spread across the walls. The lamp flickered and burst. Dust fell from the ceiling. Rin did not understand what was happening. He only knew he was scared, angry, and tired of running. Voss took a slow step back, his eyes wide with interest, not fear. "Beautiful," Voss said softly. "So small, and already this strong." Kale pushed himself up from the floor. Pain burned through his stomach, but he ignored it. His eyes were locked on Rin. "Rin?" Kale said calmly. "Look at me." Rin's glowing eyes turned toward him. "I'm here," Kale said. "You're safe. You're not alone." The golden light flickered. Rin's breathing was fast. "They want me," Rin said, his voice echoing strangely. "I know," Kale said, "but they don't get to decide your life." One of the hunters raised his weapon. "Boss, permission to fire?" Voss lifted a hand. "No, don't damage the core." Kale's heart raced. He took a careful step toward Rin. "Rin," Kale said again. "Listen to my voice. The fire inside you, it listens to your feelings. You're scared, so it's burning wild." Rin shook. "I can't stop it." "Yes, you can," Kale said. "You stopped yourself before. You're stronger than you think." The golden light pulsed harder. A shockwave blasted outward, throwing one hunter into the wall. He dropped, unconscious. The other hunter backed away in fear. Voss's smile faded slightly. "Careful, little dragon. You'll break the toy before I can sell it." That word hit Rin hard. Sell, like his toys, like his life. Something changed inside him. The golden light sharpened, turning brighter, hotter. "Kale," shouted Rin. "Focus on me, not him." Rin's eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to hurt anyone." "I know," Kale said. "Then don't. Bring the fire back inside. Think of warmth, not burning." Rin remembered the blanket, the soup. Kale's hand holding his. The light began to pull inward. Voss's eyes widened. "No." Don't you dare calm down. Voss reached into his coat and pulled out a small black device. He pressed a button. Pain exploded in Rin's chest. Rin screamed. The golden light flared out of control, smashing the window. Cold night. Air rushed in. The drones outside locked onto the signal instantly. Red lights filled the sky. Kale's blood ran cold. Authority drones, he whispered. Voss smiled again. Thank you for waking him up. Kale grabbed a metal rod from the broken shelf and threw it at Voss's hand. The device flew across the room and shattered. The pain stopped. Rin collapsed out of the air and fell. Kale caught him just in time. Rin shook in Kale's arms, crying softly. I'm sorry, Rin whispered. I'm sorry. Kale held him tight. You did nothing wrong, the remaining hunter charged. Kale turned and struck him hard with the stun baton. The hunter fell instantly. Voss stepped back toward the broken window. This isn't over, Voss said. The whole city knows now. Kale glared. Run while you can. Voss gave a short laugh and jumped out the window. A hovering drone caught him and pulled him away into the night. Sirens screamed louder. Kale did not wait. He wrapped Rin in the cloak and activated a small device on his wrist. The air shimmered, and a hidden exit panel opened in the wall. This way, Kale said. They ran through a narrow tunnel, lights flickering overhead. The tunnel led downward, deeper into the old city. Behind them, the apartment exploded as drones fired into it. Kale did not look back. They emerged into an underground transport station, abandoned and dark. Old tracks ran through the center. Broken signs flickered weakly. Kale stopped, breathing hard. Rin clung to him. Are they coming? Yes, Kale said honestly. But we have a chance. Kale knelt and looked Rin in the eyes. Rin, I need to tell you the truth, Kale said. You are not just any dragon. Rin sniffed. I'm just me. Kale shook his head. Your core is different, stronger. The egg I saved years ago, it was a prime dragon. Rin's eyes widened. A prime dragon can change wars, Kale continued. That's why they want you. Rin felt small again. I don't want war. I know, Kale said. That's why you matter. A distant roar echoed through the tunnel. Not a machine, a creature. Rin's heart skipped. Another dragon? Kale looked uneasy. Maybe. The ground trembled. Lights flared at the far end of the tunnel. Heavy footsteps approached. Kale pulled Rin close. We're not the only ones moving tonight, Kale said. From the darkness ahead, a massive shadow appeared. Glowing eyes opened, and a deep voice spoke, ancient and powerful. Little Flame, the voice said. We have finally found you. Ryan felt the fire inside him answer, and he knew his life would never be simple again. The massive shadow stepped forward into the weak tunnel light. Its body was huge, covered in dark blue scales that looked like stone and metal mixed together. Long horns curved from its head, marked with old scars. Its wings were folded, but even folded they filled the space. The air felt heavy around it, like the world was holding its breath. Rin froze. Kale slowly stepped in front of him without thinking. I won't let you take him, Kale said, his voice firm even though his hands shook. The giant dragon lowered its head. Its glowing eyes focused on Kale, then shifted to Rin. I am not here to take, the dragon said. I am here to protect. Rin peeked out from behind Kale. The dragon's voice was deep, but not cruel. You know me? Rin asked. The dragon nodded slowly. All dragons felt your awakening. Your fire called to us. Kale frowned. Us? From the darkness behind the first dragon, more shapes moved. 2 more dragons stepped forward, smaller than the first, but still enormous. One had silver scales. The other had deep red scales like burning coal. Rin's heart pounded. He had never seen another dragon before. The silver dragon spoke. You are the last prime dragon child. Rin shook his head. I don't want to be prime. I just want to live. The red dragon looked at Kale. And this human helped you survive? Yes, Rin said quickly. He saved me. The first dragon lowered its head further, until one massive eye was level with Kale. Human, the dragon said. Why did you protect him? Kale swallowed. Because he's a child. Because no one else did. The tunnel shook again, stronger this time. Distant engines roared. The silver dragon's head snapped up. Authority forces are coming, Kale cursed softly. They tracked the signal. The large dragon turned to Rin. Little flame, if they reach here, they will kill many. Dragons and humans both. Rin's chest tightened. Then I'll go with them. Kale spun around. No, Rin looked up at him. If I go, they stop chasing you. They stop the war. Kale grabbed Rin's shoulders. That's a lie. They tell to steal lives. The red dragon nodded. The human is right. The authority will never stop. Lights appeared at the far end of the tunnel. Soldiers. Drones. Heavy armor. Voss's voice echoed through speakers. Prime Dragon Child. Step forward. No one else has to die. Rin trembled. Kale pulled Rin close. Listen to me. You are not a weapon. You are not a deal. The first dragon spoke again. Human Kale, there is another path. Kale looked up. What path? The child must be taken to the Sky Sanctuary, the dragon said, but the authority will follow. Someone must stay behind. Kale understood instantly. No, Rin cried. No, no. Kale knelt in front of him, placing his hands gently on Rin's face. Rin, Kale said softly, do you remember what you told me? That you sold your toys to survive. Rin nodded through tears. You survived, Kale said. Now you need to live. Really live. Rin shook his head harder. Come with me. Kale smiled sadly. I will. Just not right away. The silver dragon lowered its wing. Time is ending. Kale stood and turned toward the tunnel entrance. His body shook, but his mind was clear. I'll distract them, Kale said. I know their tactics. I know Voss. Rin screamed. They will kill you. Kale looked back one last time, then I'll make it count. Before Rin could move, the red dragon gently wrapped its tail around him, holding him back. Kale ran. He sprinted toward the tunnel lights, straight at the soldiers. Hey! Kale shouted, look at me. Gunfire erupted. Explosions shook the ground. The dragons lifted their wings. Go, the first dragon said. Rin reached out, screaming Kale's name as the drans launched upward through a hidden shaft, blasting through stone and metal into the open night sky. Below, the tunnel collapsed in fire and smoke. Rin cried until his chest hurt. High above the city, the dragons flew fast, away from Lumenport. Rin looked down through tears at the burning city. I'll come back, Rin whispered. I promise. The first dragon looked at him with sad, wise eyes. Then grow strong, it said, and change what humans could not. Far below, amid fire and sirens, Kale fought alone. And for the first time, humans and dragons were watching the same war from different sides of the sky. Rin did not remember how long he cried. Time felt strange in the sky. The wind was cold, and the clouds looked like dark oceans. The dragons flew for hours, far beyond the lights of Lumenport, far beyond the patrol zones. When the first light of morning finally touched the horizon, they reached a mountain range that looked like a broken crown. Sharp peaks rose above the clouds. Between two cliffs, a hidden valley opened like a secret mouth. The dragons descended. Rin's stomach twisted as they landed on smooth stone. Warm air rose from the ground. The place smelled of ash, rain, and old fire. Around him were caves carved into the cliffs, old and quiet. Symbols were etched into the rocks, glowing faintly. Rin stepped down slowly. Still wrapped in the cloak, he looked around with wide eyes. This is home? He whispered. The silver dragon nodded. This is the Sky Sanctuary. It is the last safe place for our kind. Rin's heart felt heavy. Safe. But Kale was not here. The red dragon spoke gently. Human Kale gave you the gift of time. Rin's eyes burned. He gave me his life. The large, dark blue dragon stepped closer. No, he gave you a future. Rin clenched his fists. I don't want a future if he's dead. No dragon answered, because none of them knew. Days passed. Rin was fed real meals, warm meat, fruit, sweet bread. His body slowly stopped shaking from hunger. his wings began to heal. A dragon healer applied thick green paste to the torn edges. It stung, but it worked. Rin slept in a cave with a real bed made of soft cloth and fur. At night, the wind sang outside the stone walls. Rin still woke up sometimes expecting chains. But there were no chains. There were only quiet voices and gentle care. Still, Rin's heart stayed broken. Every morning he asked the same question. Did Kale live? Every morning, the dragons gave the same answer. We do not know. One night, the large dragon sat beside him at the cave entrance. The sky was full of stars. You need training, the dragon said. Rin's ears lowered. I need Kale. The dragon's voice softened. The war will not wait. Voss will not wait. The authority will not wait. Rin stared at the stars, then let them come. The dragon shook its head. That anger will burn you, and if it burns you, it will burn others too. Rin looked down. I'm scared. The dragon nodded. Good. Fear keeps you alive, but courage is what keeps others alive. Rin swallowed. How do I become strong? The dragon's eyes glowed gently. By choosing what kind of power you want to be. Training began. At first, Rin could barely control his core. When he became upset, golden flames would leak from his claws and mouth. The flames did not burn like normal fire. They were bright and strange, like sunlight made solid. The dragons taught him breathing. Focus, calm. They taught him to pull the fire inward, not outward. They taught him that power was not only for fighting, it could be for healing. It could be for protecting. Months turned into a year. Rin grew. His scales became cleaner and brighter. His horns grew longer. His wings became stronger. He learned to fly short distances without falling. He learned to create small shields of light. He learned to hide his core signal, just like Kale had tried to do. But he never forgot Kale. Kale was the first warmth, the first home, the first human who looked at him like a child, not a prize. One day the sanctuary alarms rang. A dragon scout landed in the valley, breathing hard. The authority has attacked the outer coalition, the scout said. They are winning. They have a new weapon. The large dragon's eyes narrowed. A weapon powered by prime energy. Rin's blood went cold. They were using him, or someone like him. The silver dragon looked at Rin. Voss survived. He's now a commander. Rin's claws curled. The red dragon stepped forward. If the authority had a prime weapon, they may have taken another egg. The large dragon shook its head. There were no other eggs. Silence fell. Rin's voice was small. Then what are they using? The scout answered, trembling. A human. Rin stared. A human? The scout nodded. A human man is alive. They captured him. They are draining his life with machines. They say he is the key to controlling prime fire. Rin's chest tightened. He already knew. Kale, Rin whispered. The cave walls felt like they were closing in. Rin ran out of the cave and into the open valley. His wings spread wide. His breathing became sharp. Golden light flickered around his body. The dragons followed quickly. The large dragon spoke firmly. Rin, calm your core. Rin turned, tears in his eyes. They have him. They're hurting him because of me. The silver dragon's voice was gentle. He chose this path. Rin shook his head. He chose to save me. Now I choose to save him. The red dragon stepped closer. If you go back, you may die. Rin's voice became stronger. Then I die as myself. Not as their weapon. The large dragon studied him for a long moment. Then it nodded slowly. Very well, it said. This is the choice of a prime dragon. Rin swallowed. You will help. The large dragon's eyes glowed brighter. We will not hide forever. Dragons have been silent too long. The sanctuary prepared. Not an army. A rescue. 3 dragons would fly with Rin. They would strike fast and leave fast. Ryan was given armor made from light metal and dragon scale weave. It was soft, flexible, and warm. A small symbol was pressed into the chest plate. It was the old dragon sign for family. When night came, they flew. The sky was black and wide. Below, the world looked small. But the war lights were easy to see. Fires burned like scars on the land. Hours later, Lumenport appeared again. The city was worse. Towers were broken. Streets were empty. Drones filled the sky like insects. The air was thick with smoke. Rin's heart pounded. They flew low, hiding behind clouds and broken structures. Then they saw it. The authority tower, a tall metal needle rising from the center of the city. Blue energy lines ran along its sides. The top glowed with a strange light. The large dragon spoke. That is their core extractor. Rin's claws shook. Kale is inside. They landed on a rooftop near the tower. The dragons folded their wings and waited. Rin moved forward, small but steady. He was not the starving child anymore. He was still young, but he was no longer helpless. Rin approached a maintenance entrance. He placed his claw on the lock. Golden light flowed from his fingers. The lock melted quietly. Rin slipped inside. The tower hallways were cold and white. Cameras turned toward him. Drones moved in the ceiling. Rin whispered, "Hide me." Golden light wrapped around his body like a soft cloak. The cameras flickered. The drones paused. Rin moved forward. He reached a large chamber with glass walls. Inside, a machines hummed. Pipes ran into a central platform, and on that platform, Kale. Kale was strapped to a metal frame. Tubes were connected to his arms and chest. His face was pale. His eyes were half open. His body looked thinner, weaker. Rin's heart shattered. Kale's lips moved. No sound came out. Rin ran to the glass wall. "Kale!" Rin cried. Kale's eyes focused slowly. He saw Rin. At first he looked confused, then his eyes widened. Tears filled them. Rin pressed his hands against the glass. "I came back," Rin whispered. "I promised." Kale's lips trembled. He tried to speak. The glass wall opened with a hiss. Voss stepped out from the shadows, clapping slowly. "Well," Voss said. "Look at that." The little toy came back. Rin turned. Voss looked the same, but his coat was now marked with authority rank symbols. Soldiers stood behind him. Drones hovered above. Voss smiled. "You saved me a lot of work." Rin stepped forward, placing himself between Voss and Kale. "Let him go," Rin said. Voss laughed. "You still think you can bargain? You're a child." Rin's eyes burned. "No," Rin said. "I'm his family." The word hit the room like thunder. Kale's eyes filled with tears again. Voss's smile faded. "Family is a weakness." Rin shook his head. "No. Family is a reason." Voss lifted his hand. The machines around Kale glowed brighter. Kale screamed in pain. Rin's golden fire erupted. But this time, it did not explode wildly. It moved like a river. It flowed around Kale, not hurting him. The tube snapped and melted away. The straps broke. Kale collapsed forward. Rin caught him. Kale was warm, still alive. Kale whispered, barely able to breathe. Rin held him tight. "I'm here." Voss shouted. "Kill them." Soldiers fired. The golden fire moved again. A shield formed around Rin and Kale. Bullets melted into sparks. The room shook. Outside, the dragons roared. The tower walls cracked as massive claws tore into metal. The authority drones swarmed. The sky filled with fire and light. Rin looked at Voss through the shield. Voss's face twisted with anger. "You think humans will accept you?" Voss hissed. "They fear you." Rin answered in a clear voice. "Then they will learn." Rin stepped forward. The shield expanded. It pushed soldiers back like wind. Voss tried to run. Rin raised one claw. A thin line of golden light wrapped around Voss like a rope. It lifted him off the ground. Voss struggled, choking. Rin's eyes were calm. "I won't kill you," Rin said, "because I'm not you." Rin slammed Voss into the floor hard enough to knock him out. Then Rin turned to Kale. "Can you walk?" Rin asked. Kale coughed. "A little." Rin helped him stand. The large dragon's voice echoed through the broken tower walls. "Little flame. Now." Rin nodded. He lifted Kale into his arms, his wings spread wide, and with one strong beat, he jumped through the shattered wall into open air. The dragons caught them in flight. Kale held onto Rin, weak but alive. They flew away as the tower behind them collapsed in a storm of fire and falling metal. Below, people looked up. Humans, aliens, refugees, soldiers. They saw dragons in the sky, but they also saw something else. A small dragon child carrying a human man like he was precious, like he mattered, like he was home. For the first time in many years, the city felt something new. Not fear. Hope. The war did not end that night, but something changed. The truth spread. The authority was exposed. Their crimes were seen. The outer coalition rose stronger, and humans began to speak of a strange story. A dragon child once sold his toys to survive, and a human father gave him warmth and a home. Now that same dragon child returned, not to burn the world, but to save it. Weeks later, in a quiet, safe house far from the city, Kale sat on a bed with bandages across his chest. He looked tired, but his eyes were alive. Rin sat beside him, holding the wooden toy ship. Kale smiled weakly. "You kept it." Rin nodded. "It was never sold. It was a trade." Kale laughed softly, then winced. Rin leaned closer. "You are my father?" Kale's eyes filled with tears. "If you want me to be," Kale whispered. Rin hugged him carefully. "I want," Rin said. Outside the window, the sky was clear, and for the first time in his life, Rin truly felt home.